Okay, so, when you're first starting out making this dish, I would just make it a blonde roux and make it one layer of bundles of spears, with bechamel and cheese, and bake it until the cheese melts and it's turned brown a little bit, not too brown, just a golden brown maybe, and get the experience of baking it first. Develop the experience and develop the expertise of baking this dish, with one layer. And then, after you develop your expertise, you can already kind of see how you could, bake it with more than one layer. If you have a family, you ultimately may want to make it with more than one layer and bake it for your family, because you have more than two people you're baking it for. Okay, and you can bake it that way. Baking it that way, you would probably would want to bake it longer at a lower temperature, though. Once again, if you're making pizza with it, pizza is your main course, right? So if you were to bake it, if you were to bake this dish as a multi-layered dish, you may not want your oven as hot. You want to lower it to maybe 375 and bake it for a longer time. And also, you may want to bake it before adding the final layer of cheese on top. You have layers of cheese inside, but the final layer on top, bake it first and then add the cheese to melt on top for a few more minutes until it's golden brown. You do want to bake it a little bit different if you do it multi-layer. So, but yeah, I would make it one layer first to develop the experience and expertise. And once again, it is so delicious. Now, and once again, you can make it with different kinds of meats if you want to. You can make it all with roast beef. All these spears are made with roast beef. Roast beef it. Just instead of prosciutto, wrap it in roast beef and make the dish like that. Go ahead and try a variety of meats with it. I've tried a variety of meats with it, and I conclude that I like it made with prosciutto the best. And I have a feeling you will also. After you've made this dish with just regular, typical ham you get at the deli, you'll conclude that it's good. It's yet a very, very delicious dish with regular ham or all with roast beef. But you probably will be honest with yourself. You like it with prosciutto the best for a reason. It does have an exquisite flavor. However, prosciutto can be expensive, and every time you make it, you may want to make it with regular ham or roast beef, or whatever it is you like to, Okay, now once again, with Alfredo sauce, okay? When you're making Alfredo sauce, that is different than bechamel sauce. What you do is, right here I have a half and half. See, this is half and half. This is not heavy cream. However, you could purchase heavy cream this size. Okay, just purchase heavy cream this size if you're making Alfredo sauce, and add a stick of butter. That's the recipe to Alfredo sauce. Stick of butter to this size of a heavy whipping cream. If you just want to get a pint of heavy cream that's half this size, you get a pint of heavy cream that's a pint, half that size, and then use half a stick of butter. What you do is you put your, butter in there, and then all the heavy cream, and then you bring it to a low simmer, and you have to let it simmer for a long, long time. That is true, authentic Alfredo sauce, okay? You do not use any flour. It's made with heavy whipping cream and butter. That's it. That's all you add. You do not add, flour at all. And then what you do with Alfredo sauce is you let it cook and simmer until water in the sauce evaporates. The longer it evaporates, the thicker the cream becomes with the butter. It becomes thicker and thicker and thicker over time. And you have to sit with this dish, cooking Alfredo sauce, and keep an eye on it because it takes a long time to reduce the cream. You make it, it's a heavy cream reduction with butter, and it takes a while. That is true Alfredo sauce. Once you make out your Alfredo sauce, then you toss it with fettuccine and shredded Parmesan. You, of course, add salt and pepper to it also. You could add the salt and pepper to the Alfredo sauce, after it's reduced, Okay, but that is Alfredo sauce. If you add flour to it at all, any amount of flour to this sauce, it is then no longer Alfredo sauce. It is bechamel sauce, okay? Keep that in mind. If it has any flour at all, it is not Alfredo sauce. If it has flour in it at all, it is bechamel sauce, okay? Doesn't matter if you're using heavy cream. If you use flour in it at all, it is a bechamel sauce, okay? You could make a bechamel sauce with milk. You could make a bechamel sauce with half and half. You could make a bechamel sauce with cream if you want to. But Alfredo sauce is only heavy whipping cream and butter, no flour. No flour at all, and that is Alfredo sauce, okay? The reason why it is important to make this with bechamel sauce is a very important reason. When you're baking it, the bechamel sauce has a different thickness, a different viscosity, a different it's thicker. It bakes different. If you were to bake this dish putting a layer of Alfredo sauce, then your bundles of spears, Alfredo sauce, mozzarella, and then bake it, it will be different. You won't like it as good. It'll be okay. The flavor's yet okay. But bechamel sauce is what you want to make this dish with. When you're making fettuccine Alfredo, you do not want to use bechamel with the fettuccine. Okay? That is with Alfredo sauce only. But when you're making this dish, it is with bechamel sauce you want to make it with. I want to bring your attention to mac and cheese. See, here's macaroni and cheese right there. I got it in a box, but you can make homemade mac and cheese, and what you do with homemade mac and cheese is you make a bechamel sauce. You do not make an Alfredo sauce. You make it with a bechamel sauce, and then you add cheddar cheese to it. What you do is you can dice it up so there's thick pockets of melted cheese in with your macaroni and cheese. Some people like to add a teaspoon or a tablespoon of dry powdered mustard into their bechamel sauce if you're making macaroni and cheese. Some people do that. But when you're making baked dishes like baked macaroni and cheese, you make it with a bechamel sauce. You do not make it with a Alfredo sauce. Once again, you can if you want to, but you'll realize you'll like making it with a bechamel sauce better because baked dishes are better with a bechamel sauce. Okay? All right, so hold on. Okay, so I've mentioned how important it is to make a bechamel sauce for this dish. However, I've also emphasized how important it is to make fettuccine Alfredo. Fettuccine Alfredo with an Alfredo sauce is very, very important. If you make fettuccine with flour, it is not going to be as good, okay? When it comes to fettuccine Alfredo, you need to make it an Alfredo sauce. That means no flour, okay? But when you make a baked dish, such as asparagus Athena, or even macaroni and cheese, baked macaroni and cheese, you need to make it with a bechamel sauce, okay? Because you'll like it better. Once again, you can make your bechamel with a range of milk, ranging from just, slim skim milk to But with Alfredo sauce, it is only heavy whipping cream and butter. That's it. Okay. Now, once again, I want to stress how important it is to get sliced meat from the deli. Whether you make this dish or not, even if you just want sandwiches, cold cut sandwiches, order sliced meat from the deli. It is the order. When you're placing an order, there's something about it. The turkeys in the Heavenly Plains, they do something very different because you're placing an order. At the deli, they do something different. It is very, very important. Develop this scientific observation yourself. Go to the deli and place an order for sliced meat. True, you can get sliced cheese while you're there, but for this strategic consequence, you need to get sliced meat, cold cut meat from the deli, okay? That's what you need to do for a safety reason, and you'll make the observation that your neighborhood is safer, okay? Put the order in at the deli, whether you make this dish or not, okay? But this dish also